Hi, this is Carl from Linguagenesis, and what I want to talk about in this video is a pitfall which concerns using a form of to come in English and a corresponding form in Spanish, i.e. a conjugation of the verb venir or venir, depending on your preferences of pronunciation, and which is spelled V-E-N-I-R. If you take a shortened version of that verb, i.e. the last two letters, then you will get ir, spelled I-R, which translates from Spanish into English as to go. Now, obviously, for the vast majority of native speakers of English, there aren't any difficulties or complications as regards when you need to use a form of to come and when you need to use a form of to go. In the vast majority of instances, it depends on the present location of the speaker. So if we take my present location in front of this mobile phone camera lens as my present location, and I'm moving away from where I am now, that will require me to use a form of to go in English. Here I am in the outskirts of Barnsley. If I were to move, as I say, away from where I am now to the town centre, then I will use a form of to go and make a statement along the lines of I'm going into town at 6 o'clock because I'm moving away from where I am. If we reverse that process and we speak about someone coming towards my present location, let's say, for example, a friend of mine who lives in the town centre, I can announce that he or she is coming to mine at 6 o'clock. However, there is one instance in English, and I'm not sure just how widespread this is amongst native speakers of our language, but it's a phenomenon which is rather widespread where I live here in South Yorkshire, and as a native speaker of a dialect known as Barnsley Tyke, where we will use a form of to come regardless of the fact that we're actually moving away from our present location elsewhere. A good example of this is I'm coming to yours at 6 o'clock, or I'm coming to yours in an hour's time. Even though we're moving away from the speaker, we're using a form of to come. However, that would be regarded by native speakers of Spanish as grammatically incorrect. And it really should be in English, but I think the reason why it's not is that when we're saying something along the lines of I'm coming to yours, we're sort of thinking from the perspective of the other person, because for that other person, it's a case of someone is coming to my house, in inverted commas. So we have to be careful in Spanish, if we're translating I'm coming to your house at 6 o'clock, that we use a form of ir to go instead, because it implies movement away from the location of the speaker at the moment when that individual is actually stating that phrase. So, if in Spanish there is movement away from the present location of the speaker, then that will require the speaker to use a conjugated form of ir. However, if there is movement towards the present location of the speaker, whether the speaker has come from elsewhere to the location at where he or she is now, or whether it's another individual, for example a friend, who has come towards the present location of the speaker, then that will require the use of a form of venir to come instead. So hopefully that clarifies just a slight difference which exists between both languages as regards the verb to come, and arguably a pitfall into which many learners of the Spanish language will have already fallen. So hopefully that's clarified just a few things on that.